Have you ever heard of a ship so massive, so powerful, that it simply vanished into thin air? Today, we re-diving deep into one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time. The disappearance of the USS Cyclops, a true monster of the sea swallowed by the Bermuda Triangle. Let's set the scene. The year is 1918. The world is in the throes of World War I. Amidst the chaos, the United States Navy boasts a fleet of impressive vessels, and among them is the USS Cyclops. This wasn't just any ship. It was a behemoth, a Proteus-class collier, one of the largest and most advanced of its kind. Picture a vessel over 540 feet long, displacing more than 19,000 tons. To put that in perspective, it was longer than a football field and a half. This floating giant was a critical asset, designed to refuel other warships at sea, a lifeline for the American fleet. In early March 1918, the Cyclops was on a crucial mission. It had just departed from Brazil, loaded with a staggering 10,800 tons of manganese ore. This wasn't just random cargo. Manganese was a vital component for manufacturing steel, essential for the war effort. The ship was a floating treasure trove of strategic material. After leaving Brazil, it made a brief, unscheduled stop in Barbados for supplies. On March 4th, with 309 souls on board, a mix of crew, officers, and passengers, the USS Cyclops steamed out of Barbados. Its destination, Baltimore, Maryland. Its route would take it directly through the infamous stretch of water we now call the Bermuda Triangle. And then nothing. The ship just disappeared. No distress call. No SOS. No final message crackling over the radio. One moment, a massive naval vessel was confidently charting its course through calm seas. The next, it was gone, as if erased from existence. The silence was deafening. Days turned into weeks, and the anxiety in Baltimore and at the Navy Department grew. The Cyclops was overdue, very overdue. Search and rescue operations were launched, scouring the vast expanse of the Atlantic where the ship was last known to be. Planes flew endless patterns, ships crisscrossed the search grid, but they found nothing. Not a single piece of wreckage. No lifeboats. No oil slicks shimmering on the water's surface. Not one body from the 309 people on board was ever recovered. It was as if the ocean had simply opened up and swallowed the colossal ship whole, leaving no trace behind. This disappearance became the single largest loss of life in U.S. naval history not involving combat. The sheer scale of the loss and the complete lack of evidence were baffling. How could a state-of-the-art ship, captained by an experienced officer, vanish in what were reported to be fair weather conditions? The mystery reached the highest levels of government. President Woodrow Wilson himself was reportedly stunned by the event. When asked about the fate of the ship and its crew, he famously said, "Only God and the sea know what happened to the great ship." His words captured the profound sense of bewilderment and helplessness that gripped the nation. So what happened? When there are no facts, speculation runs wild. The Navy's own investigation was inconclusive, but it opened the door to a host of theories, ranging from the plausible to the outright bizarre. Let's explore some of them. One of the leading theories at the time was enemy action. Remember, this was World War I. German U-boats were a constant menace in the Atlantic, sinking Allied shipping with ruthless efficiency. Could a German submarine have torpedoed the Cyclops? It's a logical thought. However, after the war, German naval records were meticulously reviewed. They contained detailed logs of every U-boat attack, every ship sunk. There was no mention of an engagement with the USS Cyclops. The Germans had no record of sinking it, and they certainly would have claimed such a significant victory if they had. So, the U-boat theory, while logical, doesn't hold up to scrutiny. What about a structural failure? This is a more credible, and frankly, more terrifying possibility. The Cyclops was carrying an incredibly dense and heavy cargo of manganese ore. If the cargo wasn't loaded properly, it could have shifted during the voyage, especially if the ship encountered an unexpected large wave or rogue swell. A sudden shift of thousands of tons of ore could have been catastrophic, causing the ship to list violently and capsize almost instantly. This capsizing theory explains why no distress signal was sent. It would have happened too fast for the radio operator to even react. The ship could have plunged to the depths in a matter of minutes, taking everyone and everything with it. There are also details about the ship's condition that support this idea. The Cyclops had a known issue. One of its two engines had cracked a cylinder, and was out of commission. It was essentially limping along on a single engine. Furthermore, there were reports from its last port of call that the ship was overloaded, sitting too low in the water. The combination of a heavy, potentially unstable cargo and a compromised engine could have created a perfect storm for disaster. A sudden, powerful wave, often called a rogue wave, which can appear without warning even in calm seas, could have been the final, fatal blow. Then we have the human element. The ship's captain, Lieutenant Commander George W. Worley, was a character shrouded in controversy. Some accounts paint him as eccentric and unpopular with his crew. There were reports of him walking the decks in long johns and a bowler hat. More seriously, after the disappearance, some crew members' families came forward with stories of Worley's tyrannical behavior. Some even accused him of being pro-German. This led to a wild theory. Perhaps Captain Worley, a German sympathizer, had colluded with the enemy and sailed the ship to a secret German port. Or maybe he scuttled the ship himself. It's a dramatic and intriguing idea, but like the U-boat theory, there's absolutely no evidence to support it. No records from Germany or anywhere else suggest the Cyclops was ever handed over. It's a compelling piece of wartime paranoia, but likely not the truth. And of course, we can't talk about the USS Cyclops without delving into the more paranormal explanations. Its disappearance is a cornerstone of the Bermuda Triangle legend. For decades, authors and theorists have pointed to the Cyclops as prime evidence of some mysterious force at work in this notorious patch of ocean. Theories range from alien abduction, where a UFO simply lifted the ship out of the water, to a time warp or a portal to another dimension. These ideas are exciting and capture the imagination, but they remain firmly in the realm of science fiction. There's no scientific evidence to support them, but they persist because the truth remains so elusive. The complete lack of wreckage is what fuels these supernatural tales. It's easier for some to believe in a dimensional rift than to accept that a 540-foot steel ship could sink without a trace. Interestingly, the story of the Cyclops doesn't end there. It's part of a larger family tragedy. The Cyclops had two sister ships, the USS Proteus and the USS Nereus. In a chilling echo of their sister's fate, both of these ships also vanished without a trace in the same area of the Atlantic during World War II. They were both carrying heavy loads of bauxite or another dense material from the Virgin Islands to the US. Just like the Cyclops, they sent no distress signals and left behind no wreckage. This has led naval architects to reconsider the structural design of these Proteus-class colliers. Was there a fundamental flaw in their design that made them uniquely vulnerable to capsizing when carrying heavy, dense cargo in rough seas? This theory, known as catastrophic structural failure, is now considered by many experts to be the most likely explanation for all three disappearances. The ships may have simply snapped in half or rolled over so quickly that there was no time for anyone to react. So, after more than a century, where does that leave us? The fate of the USS Cyclops remains officially unknown. It is a cold case, a ghost story whispered among sailors and historians. The wreckage has never been found, though not for lack of trying. Numerous expeditions have searched for it, using advanced sonar and submersibles. The deep waters of the Atlantic jealously guard their secrets. Finding a shipwreck in the vast, dark abyss of the ocean floor is like finding a needle in a haystack the size of a continent. The story of the USS Cyclops is a haunting reminder of the power of the sea and the fragility of our own creations. It's a tale of war, mystery, and a profound, unanswered question. It fed the legend of the Bermuda Triangle, but the reality is likely a more terrestrial, though no less terrifying, combination of bad weather, heavy cargo, and potential structural flaws. Until the day its rusted hulk is finally discovered resting in the silent depths, the final chapter of the USS Cyclops will remain unwritten. The 309 souls aboard are forever lost to the sea, and as President Wilson said, only God and the sea know the truth. What do you think happened to this ghost ship? A German U-boat? A rogue wave? Or something else entirely? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy unraveling historical mysteries like this one, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. See you next time.